My name's Toni Caummisar, and I'm involved in the Shelter Plus Care program. Well, the backstory is a little bit of a long one. There were some chain events in my life that led me to be homeless. I met some wonderful people along this path who introduced me to resources that were available. I might get emotional because the process was very difficult for me. I was a victim of sex trafficking for a long time. In 2017, I wanted to change my life. I wasn't happy and I didn't know how. During this time, I conceived my second son. And once I found out that I was pregnant, I knew that I needed to find a new way to live. And so what I did was I entered into a 12-step program, and there they had rehabilitation housing. In those houses, I struggled to make ends meet, and I was like really emotional. I didn't know how I was going to afford to take care of my family. I had met women who had been in the same circumstance and who had found a way out. And so I was introduced to a woman named Amy Lehartz, who has a program in Portland in Louisville, Kentucky. I was about 8 or 9 months pregnant, and I was gonna have my son any day, and I just didn't know where to bring him. And so she got me into the Salvation Army, which has a shelter for women and children. And I remember being so grateful because my son was gonna be safe, like he was gonna have a home, and I didn't have that stress anymore. So through that program, I got introduced to the Shelter Plus Care. You know, they gave us budgeting classes and cooking classes and all of these resources that changed my life, you know. And then I found an apartment, and I brought my baby home, and all of this happened before he was like 6 months old. It was a real miracle. I tell my story so that people will know that, like, there is an other side, but to walk through it and try to hold your head high is one of the hardest things that I've ever done in my life. So looking back, would I have been able to do it? I think I would have gave my kid a good life, and I think that I would have been able to succeed. But there's no way that I would have found the peace and security that I have. So now we're going to sign papers to get on Section 8. From being, you know, self-sufficient and maintaining my bills and keeping my home, you know, up to date and everything. Now I get to take that and hopefully get a house for my son. Seeing how great it feels to help people. I'm actually going to school to be a social worker. So I don't know what that looks like for me. I just know that because this is such a monumental thing, I want to be a part of it forever, you know, so.